me feeling like a firebolt high in the sky, looking like a thunderstorm, boy. Here we go, 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 go. You're easy to remember, so hard to forget. Baby, it's a coward way you strut. Well, how could I not worship every inch your feet have touched? Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe there's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe.
Good morning from beautiful Florida. We are going to talk today about our shakedown. Shakedown is what we do, like a small trip to kind of get prepared for a bigger trip. It's really to make sure that everything works and that it's operating, and that we try to minimize the issues that we'll have once we get on the road. After our huge trip last year, when we did Making Our Way Out West, we were kind of looking at what do we do this next year. If you've been a subscriber for a really long time, then you know we did a huge Utah trip before we bought the van. In that trip, we did the Mighty 5. Well, we really did the Mighty 4 because we missed Canyonlands. We just thought it was great just to kind of take our time and really visit one state. Going out west last year, we had so much on the itinerary planned. We had a lot more time. This time we won't have as much time because I am taking vacation from work. Last year, if you noticed in Making Our Way Out West, we missed a big state, and that was Colorado. Mark looked at Colorado like there's so much to do with the 4 national parks there. There's all the state parks and just the beauty of it. Really excited to get back on the road. We leave less than 3 weeks, and so our shakedown is to test everything again, make sure it works. Hot water. Oh, hot water works. So for our Colorado trip, our itinerary is jam-packed, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're actually going to be staying at some of the national park camping. We're going to be doing dry camping. We have some electric, thank goodness. So that's very cool. We're going to do the 4 national parks there. And then we're going to hit some of the state parks like Garden of the Gods. We are going to meet up with some friends of mine from work. We're going to do a comparison of their Winnebago Solus to our Thor scope. One of our viewers had commented about Harvest Host. And if you know that Mark's been in law enforcement for as long as he was, that it's a little bit sketchy for him to stay somewhere that's not in a more controlled environment. So it took a little bit of convincing, but thank you to the viewer. I am so excited because we are going to be staying at an alpaca farm, which who doesn't love alpacas? They're such cute animals.
So Amy says we're going to be staying at one of the hot springs in Colorado, which
Glenwood.
She showed it to me on the website. It looks really, really cool.
They have slides and all kinds of, like a lazy river at this one. So that's why I picked it, because it looked a little bit more fun than just the relaxing kind of hot springs. They have those too though. But this looked a lot of fun.
This looked a lot of fun.
This looked a lot of fun.
This looked like a lot of fun.
Okay. This looked like a lot of fun.
This looked a lot of fun.
Corrected my grammar.
Used the disco beds last night, and they were actually really good. When we had the air going because it's Florida, so we had the air really cold and it covered up. It was all nice. Oh, but then when the air kicked off,
it got hot because it's Florida.
It definitely got hot underneath the sheets. So just a update on the Duvallay disco bed.
We've got a lot of really cool hikes planned as well. We're going to be doing Hanging Lake Hike in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. So super excited about that. And some in the national parks, as well as, like I mentioned, Garden of the Gods. We're going to be doing what was top of Mark's itinerary. Hopefully I don't get sick. And that is
the railroad train.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
through the mountains.
Yeah, the steam up through Cascade Canyon. So yes. Super
right
excited.
On the cliffs and everything else. It's going to be exciting. I'm scared of heights. And I just read where they had a train crash somewhere in the United States.
It wasn't this one.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
And now I think it's time to meet the Rogers.
These chairs are so much more comfortable than the van. I don't know what's up with that, but we need these kind of chairs in the van.
Can you see yourself driving this Class A?
Well, I don't know about that.
That's where all the driving gets done. Those look extra comfy, those seats. They are actually pretty good. This is a table here, and this table actually comes out, you were saying. It does. And it moves over here to where Amy's at on the floor. Right, or a larger one can go there. It easily comes out. Oh, wow. Of course, we have the shade that comes down, and you have curtains that pull. These curtains right here pull. Yep, there you go. It darkens out. You control the shade and the generator from here. All right, we can lower or raise the shade right here. We can turn on the generator if we need to. I'm going to bring this down all the way, and I'll show you what it's capable of. And voila! Those two people can sleep. We'll go down a little bit further, but behind him. So here's the couch. Obviously, it pulls out into a full-size bed. Storage underneath. You got cup holders. Boom, boom. Window view. This is actually a slide out too, right? This is the one slide out we have. Yes. Goes back over. Seatbelts. Yeah. Of course, you got plenty of storage. Got storage here, storage here. You got storage there. That big one. Yeah. Stainless steel, best to go. Two burner stove. Convection oven. Some more storage there. Nice drawers. Oh my God, look at the size of this refrigerator. Oh my God, look at the size of the freezer, Amy. There we go. These are magnetic. There's the we got a mirror. Hey, look at this full-size shower. Look at this. Nice. Awesome sink. Right here. You can actually close these doors here. It's so cool. Close this door off to the bedroom, and close this door off. The living room have plenty of privacy while you're in this. Hey guys, we're here at Tates Talk. We're here with our friends Ken and Cheryl, and they've been gracious enough to let us on board their Class A Thor Vegas. We ourselves bought a Thor Scope 18M, a Class B van. So we're here today comparing the two and seeing why they chose theirs and why we chose ours, and see if this might be something for us down the road, or see if they may be interested in a Class B, which obviously not because they got this one, but we'll ask them questions.
So what was your decision-making process, and why did you buy the Thor Vegas?
So first of all, we had a fifth wheel to begin with, and which we enjoyed for many years, but it was just too big for us. And so we wanted something smaller, but we wanted to incorporate some of the things from the fifth wheel that we liked, but we also knew over time that there were things that we desired to have. We thought maybe a toy hauler at one point, but then that would have been bigger. Ultimately, what we were looking for was a smaller, more easily maneuverable in campsites vehicle, but yet strong enough to pull our Jeep. So once we found that, we knew the size range we were looking at. Then it was just a matter of finding the floor plan. This was the one. This floor plan, the Thor Vegas 24.1, had what we wanted.
Yeah, we looked at a bunch of different types and stuff. And a van, I think, was the furthest from our mind until we actually stepped foot into a van.
Anyway.
And then we were like, then we started watching all these videos and things like that. That, you know, we were van crazy then at that point.
Yeah.
But just like them, just like with you guys, we liked the floor plan in ours as well because it was perfect to match our needs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But this is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
All right. So what is the height and width?
The height is about 11 feet, and the width is about 8 feet, and it's 25.5 feet long.
All right, so with the Thor scope, ours is 18 feet long, and it's less than 9 feet tall, and it's less than 7 feet wide. So for us, we picked the van because we like to go into parking spaces. Like we fit into compact parking spaces.
Yeah.
Like we went up to the top of Cadillac Mountain in Acadia National Park, squeezed right in there, and still could get. Even if we can't get the front doors open, we can always go out the slide door. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to have. That's the reason we chose that.
Yeah.
So, but do you guys like the size of your? You like? Is it too big for you? Is this perfect? It's better than those big ones that you had before that were like huge, long pull behinds.
Yeah, we didn't want large. We didn't want a huge vehicle, but we didn't want to go too small. We wanted to have a medium, and because for our goal, we like to get to the campsite, set up, hook in. We like the full hookup ones, and we don't want to disconnect until it's time to leave. So we wanted to be able to bring a vehicle with us. So we needed to have something that had at least a strong enough engine that could do that. And this isn't by any means the largest around, but it fit our needs. It's small enough to where we can maneuver into most campsites, even in some parking lots if we had to, and yet the engine's strong enough that we can pull a vehicle.
So what was our fifth wheel, like 36 feet?
34, I think it
34.
was. Yeah.
And it was way too big for us.
30.
And then it didn't sleep. For as big as the size was, it really only slept 2 people.
Yeah.
Because the pull-out couch that we had originally, we had to replace due to the flaking. And for size, getting it in and out of the door, we had to get basically a reclining love seat instead of another pull-out sleeper. So that basically reduced it to just the bed, the queen bed that was in it. We had 2 love seats, both reclined. The reclining one would lay flat, but it's not really a bed. And then the dinette was a permanent table with chairs, not a convertible dinette. So for all the size, really, it only slept 2 people, and it just wasn't as practical for us.
Yeah. That's with ours. We bring Charlie sometimes, but we've never really brought anybody else into the van because you can't put something across the seats. You can, like your captain's chairs, you can turn them towards each other and they make these beds and stuff, or they make some kind of cushion that goes in between the beds to make it full. And I've seen people do that, but for us, it's just we're whoa, what was
Forgot
that?
about that.
So,
That's the thing that makes it smell good.
for us,
Excuse
it's
me.
we're on the go all the time. So, and I think this is more, and this is probably something we're looking for in the future because this will be more towards us, like long term, staying places longer, and then dismounting a vehicle of some sort to go somewhere. So,
Yeah.
But I think our size, we love it, and our layout, and
I love the van.
But you do, I mean, when you walk into this place, it's like huge space. It's like,
Yeah.
boom, you're in the living room, and then the cockpit is all one living room. Then you have a separate bathroom, and then you have a separate bedroom. So it's like, whew, there's just space, but it's not too big.
We have a separate bathroom.
I understand that, but they have like, if you look at this from up above and took the roof off and looked at it, you have a living room. You can shut both doors, and then make a bathroom, big bathroom. You can walk around, shower, and feel comfortable. And then you got a big bedroom back there. So it's literally like 3 rooms. So it's more spacious than the van. So,
Yeah.
But I think that's a plus, a pro, and a con. So
Yeah.
Another thing we liked was a lot of the toy haulers we looked at had those loft beds, like in the toy hauler portion or above the toy hauler portion. And we knew, because our kids are grown, so we're not necessarily looking for something to take the kids on, but potentially grandkids in the future. And we knew the grandkids would like that loft
Yeah.
ladder or bed. So this has the bed over the captain's
Right.
chairs that drops down the bunk with a ladder. So
you could actually sleep 5 in here too.
Yep.
Because you can. Well, actually, you could sleep 3 back there if you wanted to.
Yeah, if
you
you
could throw
wanted to.
somebody in.
We don't want to.
If you like,
You know,
like say your dog or
weird.
something, you could sleep 2 and a dog back there, or
You can
you
convert
have
to a king.
you can have single beds, and then this is a couch that the couch we're on now is a pull out bed, and then you could actually put something there if you want to, and then you just drop that down. There's a, like you said, there's a bed up there too, so it's very practical and real spacious, I think.
Yeah. So let's talk about the different floor models. So you mentioned earlier that there were 3 different floor models for the Vegas.
At least.
So the one we chose is 2 twins that will convert to a king, but there's a separate space in the middle if you don't want to convert it, but it will convert to a king. And a lot of the forums we've been on, they've said they've gotten a California King mattress and it fits perfectly on there if you put that middle section in.
Yeah.
We don't prefer that because I don't want to have to climb over the bed to get in bed. That was another big thing on our list, was I wanted something that we didn't have to unmake the bed every day so that we could sit on it or whatever. I wanted to be able to leave the beds made or the bed made. The other models, there's a north-south queen bed, and that one had a slide out that came in to extend, so it gave you more room to walk around. And then there was a east-west facing king bed. The reason I didn't like that one is it also slid out on the side, but you had to stow it, you had to fold the end of the mattress up, so it wasn't really usable if we're going down the road and someone wanted to go back and lay down and take a nap on the bed. The bed was halfway folded up, so it wasn't. This seemed more practical and usable, and you actually have more sleeping space because if you divide a queen bed in half, it's smaller than a twin bed. So this actually gives us individually more sleeping space on the 2 twin beds, which we liked.
Yeah. And I think for us, when we look at the
There's
scope,
there's a lot more room
yeah,
in the beds
I
compared
do.
to ours.
Well, yeah, definitely, and I do like the bed setup in here. Eventually, when we go to something bigger, we had looked at like an Echo, and it had something similar. But I do like the Vegas. I do like Thor, but I do like the Vegas with the bed setup the way that it is. For the 18M, the reason why we picked that model was because it did have a wet bath. I do like the bed in the back of in the rear versus like in the middle where ours is right now today. But it was better for us having the wet bath.
Yeah. A lot of the questions that we get asked are stuff like mileage. Ours gets like 15 to 18 miles to the gallon. Even when we went out west, went to Acadia and pretty good. How does the Class A Thor Vegas, how does that do on mileage?
We probably get around 11
Okay.
miles
And
per
that's
gallon.
not towing.
No, that's not towing.
And is it regular gas, or do you use diesel, or is it
It's regular
gas?
regular
Okay.
unleaded gas. It's it's regular gas with a 55 gallon tank.
Another question we get asked a lot is, how does it handle on the road? Like when you're, I don't know if you had a chance, you've been on a couple of trips already since you've got it, but mainly local trips.
Yes.
So I don't know if you've got a chance to explore or find out how it does turns, and if it would do mountains, hills, how it would handle on the freeway, highway. You've obviously probably been on the highway. We're coming just down here to DeLand, Florida. You would have been on the highway, but how do you?
This is our longest trip so far.
Okay?
What is it?
2.5
115, 120 miles, whatever it is.
Right.
And that was primarily on the Interstate 95. And I can tell you that it does not handle as well as I prefer. And I've done some research on it. It's a little disappointing that Thor manufactures these on a Ford E350 chassis, and they don't change the suspension even after they put all this weight on it and sell it. So the forums that we've been on and some of the blogs that we've seen, we've gotten some ideas on how to do that. We've already done a little bit, and we're going to do some more as far as upgrading the suspension. Because the two things that bother me a little bit, I mean, it's not terrible, don't get me wrong. I mean, driving down the road, so on an empty highway, I can drive down the road one-handed pretty easily. Every now and then you'll get a wind gust or something that might get your attention.
Or when semi blows by you.
But if you're in traffic and you have semis, it gets your attention real quick.
Yeah.
So what happens is there's a little bit of play in the steering wheel, first off, and the wind, the semis, the box trucks, just regular wind gusts. It takes the coach and it like swims back and forth, and I don't enjoy that. So we're working. Once we get that ironed out, I'm telling you, the rest is fine. I mean, local, like where we're at now in DeLand, we had to go through some local roads to get here to this campsite. That was super easy. I mean, when you're talking 50 miles per hour and under, it is really easy to handle.
Have you been in any rainstorms or anything like that yet?
No, just a little bit of rain.
Because we, in the Aloha, we have experienced hailstorms, thunderstorms, snowstorms, and lightning storms now.
Wow.
And it is freaky because
sound fun.
we've had our windshield broke twice. So we're by just little rocks coming up from semi-trucks. So we're it gets really sketchy sometimes. We drive really slow.
I can
sometimes
imagine
when
you
we-
and lightning.
uh,
Pretty sketchy.
yeah, I've been struck by lightning, so
Twice.
twice. So
Lightning does strike twice.
those
apparently.
those stories are for later. But yeah, so yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't like driving the van though on the highway because you do get those crosswinds and the semis, and it does kind of blow the van. Of course, our van is a little bit smaller than this. So.
I don't feel it as much every once in a while, but I like when we pulled the camper behind us with the Gladiator, the Jeep Gladiator, and we pulled the camper. Well, actually, that was fine too. It was before that when we were using the Jeep Cherokee, and it was just like blow us, and we'd have to have special hookups and stuff to keep it.
I drove it home when we bought it. Where did we buy it? What area? Near Cedar Key.
Yeah, I don't
But we
remember.
took back roads the whole way home, and I drove it, and it drove great. It handled like a van or big truck. I mean, it was smooth to me. The only thing that bothered me was A, it was loud, which we fixed, and B,
right.
if you hit a bump on one side, the frame felt like it was kind of doing like a wobble, like just rocking back and forth. But other than that, I thought it drove pretty smooth, but I didn't have to go on interstate. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the bathroom because that's like a big thing, right?
Our bathroom, we like our bathroom.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get that particular model because of the
wet
full,
bath.
The bath, and I almost said full bath, but the wet bath in the back. And we got it in the back because we like it better there as opposed to like in the middle or something
Because
like
then
that.
you don't have as much room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I saw y'all's bathroom here
Yeah.
and the capability of closing both doors off and just having all that space in there to do your business one and take a shower and just and you're closed off, completely closed off from the bedroom or from the living room area. It's just that was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all must really enjoy that part.
Well,
You wanna handle
Y'all saw our bathroom, right?
So this
So-
bathroom is a huge downgrade from our fifth wheel that we had. So that I'm a little sketched out about because we had a really big glass enclosure shower, separate toilet off to the side. I mean, there was plenty of space. A bigger, well, I guess the sink was, it was a little bigger. But this shower is much smaller. We haven't used it yet. I don't plan to use it because we have just been trying to stay places where we have a bathhouse and we can just use that instead. Same thing with the toilet, but I've seen some mods on some forums where people have tried to make the space feel bigger in the shower with the curtain rod. Some people have put, they've said pool noodles, I guess, in the middle of the curtain to make it go out more.
Oh.
And then I've seen some people even put like plexiglass little sides to the two sides where just the middle is open. Because I will say I've already noticed it looks like the cabinet, the vanity cabinet, is on one side of the shower, and then there's a above toilet cabinet, vanity cabinet on the other side, and it looks like it's starting to get some water damage because the shower, the shower's right there, and it's a small shower, and it's gonna spray out. So I've at least thought about putting some kind of waterproof liner on the sides of those cabinets, and then I've seen where some people have put plexiglass, and then other people have just they've mounted some washers down at the base of the shower pan and put magnets in their shower curtain so that it stays all the way closed, so the water doesn't get out.
That's something to think about.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think it's going to be interesting when we start using it because we're used to it bigger.
I mean, it's nice to have. I mean, we prefer a larger, bath house facility, that you get at most of these campsites. But, if you have to, it's definitely doable. It's, one thing that I've noticed though, the shower head is not as good as yours. Your shower head is nicer. That's one of the things we're going to upgrade as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of the time I think
I like they're starting to put them in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle.
And the shower head is like in the middle, which
Like
would
a
make
rain
more
head.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And then if they had something they invented where they put it up there and then you could actually take it out, that'd be even cooler.
That'd be better, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's talk about storage, because you obviously have a lot more storage than we do in the Class B.
Yeah.
I was concerned for a while because coming from the fifth wheel, which turns out we had a lot of junk in there that we didn't really need. I think we had like 10 blankets. I don't have no idea why, because it only slept 2. But once we downgraded all of our stuff, and then we got a little bit inventive with the spaces of some of them, with storage and building shelves, multiple layers and stuff like that. But yeah, we haven't had any problem. In fact, we have right now empty cabinets that we're not even using, and that's with clothes for a trip. So
Wow, that's great.
and then there's stuff like that whole couch you're sitting on, the jackknife couch, that drawer that's got a storage drawer underneath. There's nothing in that.
Wow. Right, so the kitchen is obviously a little bit different in this even than ours, because we only have a microwave, and I think you guys have a convection oven. So
We do.
let's talk about the kitchen a little bit.
And a stovetop. Yeah.
Let's talk about the kitchen a minute. Hang on.
Okay.
Sorry, it stopped on the refrigerator.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the kitchen a little bit, because we only have a microwave and a 2-burner stove in ours, which runs on propane. What about your kitchen? Because it is a lot bigger than ours.
So it's a 2-burner stove as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the microwave is convection.
It's a convection also. So
And then our fridge we talked about is bigger than yours, and then we have a separate freezer.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But we haven't used the stove, so we don't, even at home, we don't typically cook. We eat out, so. And then to me, that's part of the adventure of travel, is I like to eat new places and go check out, I'm a little bit of a foodie, so.
that, or we grill or griddle.
Grill, yeah.
Yeah,
I would probably use that over, because the griddle now, you can cook everything on the griddle.
And on the
Veggies,
Blackstone.
whatever, everything, so.
Sure.
Yeah, Blackstones are great.
I want to know how it is to. Can I ask a question? I want to know how it is to back this sucker up. So with our van, it's super easy. We have a camera, but like when I backed in here, I couldn't use the camera. So
Because of sunlight.
I have side mirrors or whatever. It's really super. It's just like a car, backing a car into a spot, literally. So this one is how many feet again? You're
25.5.
25.5. So is it hard to back into spots?
No, it is super easy. It's like backing up a large truck. That's it. And there is a backup camera.
Cheryl?
Uh,
or Ken?
I spot them too, but that's a camera.
right, there's a
I'm
backup
sorry.
It
camera we
also
don't
has
even
a
really use.
side
Yeah.
camera. If you put the blinker on, it cuts, which I don't love. It cuts the radio off and then shows the side of your vehicle.
There's one that my son has on his he has a little Honda Civic. I know it's a car. We're talking vans and campers, but it actually comes into the side mirror. The video, you can actually buy it and place it out there, a camera, and it takes up like a little corner section. You can't tell it when you're normal driving, but when it when you go to turn your blinker on, it actually shows in your thing as opposed to looking in. And would that distract you, I guess, maybe?
No, that would be
Possibly?
better, because right now the camera view is right here in the center.
So you got to look down from the
You got to look down and into the center,
and check.
which is not really a problem for backing up slowly.
Right.
But if you're turning and you use the blinker, I don't look over there to see the camera,
Yeah.
hardly ever. I just use my mirrors and
You just wing it and go over
yeah.
there. If there's
So,
a couple cars or whatever.
The
just-
biggest place
Just kidding.
the biggest place we notice the difference in backing is at our house because we live in a cul-de-sac.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he never would back the fifth wheel because he would just get so frustrated so easily because it's
I would
difficult,
too.
especially in a cul-de-sac, maneuvering that big thing with the truck and everything. But even I was fairly decent at it, and it would take me a while, and usually us yelling at each other, is he the spotter and me in the cab, and yelling and arguing, and it was a battle. So he drove this one the rest of the way home when we bought it, and he pulled it in so we could load it, but I suggested you should back it in so that we can get, no, I'm sorry, you backed it in like we normally did, the trailer, and then I pointed out that if we pulled it in straight, then the door would be right by our garage, so it'd be easier to load up. So he pulled it back forward, did a U-E in the cul-de-sac, and then pulled it back in straight, and probably less time than it took me to back our fifth wheel before. So it's way easier.
It's a lot easier.
Wow.
So one of the things you just talked about is the door, which I found kind of funny, right?
It's a little weird at first.
It is a little weird that there's no door in the
Cab.
to get out of the cab.
No.
It's you get out through the
I like it better. I like it. It seems more. The van, you have to
yeah.
pull that door open.
Yeah.
You could go out the back, but it's a drop. There's no steps or nothing. There's no.
Yeah.
You know, it's just. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that, and it secures, and it's got a screen on it.
Hmm.
Feels more solid to me.
A lot
I
of
don't
people in the forums, for some reason, ask what people do to fill this hole on the stairs while they're traveling.
know. Really?
I don't know why you would. We're not walking around and falling into the stairwell.
No, I did find though where one forum they used like styrofoam cooler type material, styrofoam,
Yeah.
and they put
Filled it
some
in?
type of a heat cold tape over it.
Hmm.
They filled it in, but not for while they were traveling. They did it for when they're at the campsite, and it, specifically when it's cold. They said that the cold air wafts in,
drives
Oh.
and that they claim helps.
Wow.
Well, one of the things I absolutely love, and I'm gonna have to test it out, or Cheryl can test it out, right? Is there enough room to put my feet up there while we're traveling? So we'll have Cheryl test that.
That's a safety thing for me. I'm not a proponent of doing that, but yeah, there's plenty.
There is plenty of room.
Yay! See, look at that.
There is no airbag here, but
Very, very cool.
don't try this at home, kids, because
Yeah.
there's an airbag. This is how you get a broken femur.
But what I did like about it was that it had this nice pull-out laptop desk. So I really could have used something like that last year while we were on the road. So that is definitely a big plus.
So, have you ever checked out a Class B? You've seen our Class B, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your honest opinion? It won't hurt our feelings.
No.
Because obviously, we've already
Love it.
said and stated many times on our channel that we like it and we pick that specific size model of a camper van versus, and we're not opposed to upgrading in the future when we go full time to a Class A like this, because this is obviously what we're looking for when we
But you
go.
guys did how long of a trip?
2 months?
We've done over 2 months going out west. We did almost a month going to Acadia, 2-3 weeks up there.
Yeah.
We've been in the Keys for 2-3 weeks. We've been in Virginia. We've been a lot of different places. So South Carolina, Congaree National Park, and several other places. But
So you said, be honest, we think you're crazy because we said that's called the divorce van. Like, that would be the divorce van if we were in
because
it
you're
for
so
2 months.
tight, it's so
Yeah,
close. Yeah.
That's too much.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So the main killer on a Class B for y'all would be the size, not having this big spacious living room when you walk
Well,
into the camper.
Yeah, that's the number one.
Okay.
And then two, like I mentioned earlier, we want to take the whatever camper, this one, we want to take it to the campsite, hook in. We don't want to unhook until we're moving on.
Right.
You know, either
Yeah.
going back home or going to another site. We want to find other means, and we hope to be able to tow a vehicle soon that's what we want to use to explore around the campsite, around the park or whatever.
I think that's what
Eventually.
what we will go to, because we're going to be we're going to be gone for long periods of time still, but we're going to be staying at different places longer.
Yeah.
As opposed to going, like when we go on our trips, we have an itinerary. We're going boom, 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 and there's places we have to be at, next state, next park, whatever. But when we start doing full-time van life, or camping life, whatever you want to call it, it would be more feasible, I think.
And that's what we were thinking about ahead of time. You know, we're not ready to do that yet, you know, full time or even close to full time. But we wanted to have something ready for when we did.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think.
we hope this is it.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
Yeah, and I think Cheryl's a little
My
bit.
feelings are a little bit hurt because I love the van. But...
No, but
I'm just kidding.
but
We could
Cheryl-
actually fit the van inside the Vegas.
I know we could.
They're
But
both-
Cheryl's a little bit closer to retirement than I am too. So.
We looked at Class C's as well, so we knew Class B's were not an option for us. And we
Sorry,
looked
not
at,
sorry, but that was not going to work for us. But we did look at C's.
and we like because they're about the same size. This is the smallest Class A you can get, and the Class C's we were looking at were about the same size. Some even just a little bit bigger.
We found one, I can't remember the name of it, but it had the same or very similar floor plan with the sleeping in the back and everything. And it was a little bit shorter than this one, and we thought, oh wow, we fell in love. This one's going to be great, but it had a smaller engine and it couldn't tow anything, and that just wasn't going to work for
The mileage
us.
was actually worse. And then I didn't like the one thing about the Class C's I didn't like is all the overhead bunks extend out past the windshield of the cab.
Yeah,
And for some reason that made me feel claustrophobic sitting in the driver's seat when I would just sit in them.
So true.
I don't know why, but because this has obviously something over your head, but it's
Yeah, but
not
it's-
past the windshield, so
Yeah, no,
that
it-
bothered me.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
And
it really is.
And the reason we chose a Class A over the same size Class C, besides all that, was the luxury. So we did have a lot of luxury in our fifth wheel that we had before. It was on the more glamping side. It was luxurious, and we liked the luxury features of a Class A, but on the chassis, the drivetrain, all that, the gas engine of the Class C. So it was kind of a perfect combination for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
One other question.
Yeah.
So our van, our Thor scope, it can pull a little bit. Like it could pull a light trailer or something like that. You mentioned earlier something, Ken, you kind of talked about it, but what was the tow? Do you know what the tow capacity, what you could probably get away with towing with this Class A?
8,000 pounds.
Wow.
Okay, so that's like a vehicle, like a small Jeep or something.
Oh, that's a large Jeep.
That's a large
Well,
Jeep.
we could
Okay.
pull our
So,
Gladiator
a
with that.
four-door-
We could actually. I didn't think about that. We could
Yeah,
pull
a
it.
4-door Jeep is maybe 5,000 pounds, something like that. So yeah, your Gladiator would probably be a little bit more, but it would still be in that threshold.
So basically, when y'all go camping from now on, me and Amy can be in the Gladiator
Sure.
behind y'all,
Yeah.
and you can pull us
Pull you.
to,
Yeah.
pull us to the
We
campsite.
might be able to pull your scope.
That's great.
And on that, we're going to end this.
That was great.
Well, thank you, Ken and Cheryl. Appreciate it.
You got me feeling like a firebolt high in the sky, looking like a thunderstorm.